Good afternoon, everyone. This is the Finance Pastor coming to you live from Chattanooga, Tennessee. And what a week it has been in the stock market with a lot of movements that have been happening. Many people who were thought that the first 100 days of the Trump administration thought that the economy was going to get straight shooting up have gotten a rude awakening with many of the investors losing many of their gains. Tesla has been hit, Apple, Nvidia, AMD, many of the stocks that were darlings, Palantir, have been really getting hit over the last few months. You're seeing a lot of investors who are weary, some of them already taking profits, and we are seeing a movement in the market like none have ever seen before. Even though there have been pledges of investment in the economy, and not only from other countries, many people feel like the tariffs have not been working. And many business owners that know that when you're trying to change a new strategy and you're trying to inject new liquidity into the market, that you won't see the results right away. The tariff is here. I think they're going to stay. And as we play the long game with Canada, Mexico, and many other countries, I think the United States is going to come out front, because at the end of the day, everyone needs the United States. We are a consumer nation. Therefore, we are the biggest consumers the world has ever seen. Our pocketbooks, our money is so valuable to these countries. What we will see is not that many people are not going to buy imported cars, but what we're going to see is many of the jobs that left during the 80s, during the 90s, during the bad NAFTA agreement, many of those are going to come back. Many manufacturing that left. Many of the people who live in Detroit or Michigan knew that many of the jobs went overseas. I believe that many of these companies are going to bring their businesses back and manufacturing and made in the USA. And I believe that will help curb a lot of the tariffs that are happening. So if you're here and you're thinking, what's going on? What's going on with the Trump economy? I thought it was going to go bullish. Well, sorry, it doesn't work that way. If you start looking at the administration of many other presidents, even Trump's first administration, it wasn't a straight up. Expect some volatility. We have printed so much money over the last 4 years, 8 years, 12 years, 16 years. Everything is catching up. There's no perfect solution. What the Trump administration is trying to avoid a collapse, and we're due a collapse. So that's why you hear the people saying, we're due, we're going to fall. You see a lot of people saying that. It's that we're overinflated. That is true. That is facts. So you have to, as an investor, you have to train with an eagle eye and see everything from a top view and look down and see where's the money going, what policy is happening in Washington. Don't confuse it with politics. We're looking at policy, and you start seeing that the money movement comes clearer and clearer, and your vision starts seeing, okay, where should I invest my dollars? Should it be in real estate? Should it be in the stock market? Should it be in both? And you start seeing that, you start finding clues from looking at properties that are all over the nation that are dropping. We're seeing a lot of housing prices that are dropping, especially in Florida, Tennessee, where I live. We've seen prices that are coming down from a lot of the highs. You're seeing a lot of people who overpaid for properties in the 2023 2024 that are thinking they're trying to sell. Many people who thought they were going to flip a house and bought it at the wrong time, they are getting a rude awakening where their prices are being slashed, and many of them are losing money. I already knew real estate investors that were getting foreclosed on in 2022. So this is not something that's new. It's just many people were able to maybe sustain that increase of inflation, maybe with other monies. But I know a lot of investors that are struggling. And you start looking at what happens today. Today is a very pivotal day in the stock market. Why? Because you start seeing that Fed Chairman Powell is going to speak around 2 o'clock. And what he starts saying really is going to move the stock market either one way or the other. Today, the stock market has been bullish for the most part. Any bad news, anything that maybe feel like the stock market has an unease, you could see the stock market go down. Tesla has been hammered, losing almost 45% of its value pre-election. Many people who invest, I'm a bullish on Tesla. I believe the stock will come back, but it gotten hammered. There's no way around it unless you a hedge, unless you have protective puts on it. Then when the stock goes down, it's not really a big thing if you're hedged correctly. Now, we're going to be looking at certain things here, but we want to look at, I want to share my screen. We're going to look at certain things that are happening in Yahoo Finance. And I want to share that with you guys. Go share that with you guys. We're looking at Fed Chairman Powell. He is really like, we're looking at just what a lot of the things we're going to be discussing what's been going on. Fed Powell chair is going to take the center stage. Really, everything he says is going to really move the markets. We're looking for updates. A lot of the market, maybe could the interest rates go up? Could the interest rates go down? That is a huge component for the stock market. If we're starting to see that interest rates go down, there's two avenues that can happen. Either people will feel more confident and go buy and purchase, or we're going to see a lot of inventory either go high, prices will go higher, and wages will stay stagnant. That's a huge problem for the economy. And you can't have prices continue to go up and wages not follow it. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing here in a couple of the news here, we see that Tesla rebounds. California approves the initial ride-hailing permit. This is a big deal for Tesla. Tesla, I really invest in Tesla, not because the electric car. Frankly, I could care less about the electric car. I'm a gas guzzler. I'm a Ford F-150 guy. So I like my truck. But what I do like from Tesla is the technology. That is what I am believing in Tesla for, is the technology, autonomous driving. To me, the leader right now in autonomous driving is Waymo, which is heavily backed by Google. And I believe that Waymo continues to evolve. It's really going to be a very competitor for Tesla. Now, what Tesla has is more data. Tesla has been already out on the road for many years. Tesla has so much data that it is unbelievable. And that's why I'm bullish on Elon. I'm bullish on that. Let's look at TradingView. I want to look at some stocks. I'm going to refresh this right now. We're going to be looking at the S&P right now is up 0.46%. 25 points. NASDAQ really going up 100 points. Dow Jones 125 points. These stocks have gotten hammered over the last few trading days, and really going to be seeing more of that. Tesla, my favorite stock, but boy, has Tesla gotten hammered. You got to be realistic with this. If Tesla continues to fall, that the next stop, in my opinion, for Tesla is going to be that 190, 185 range, in this vicinity, that 184. But if it continues to fall, that 204 would be that next. But if it continues to fall, it's going to go back down to 162, 163, 164. That's the floor. That's the floor for this stock right now. So it's either you're going to be playing the protective put as you make the money to the downside, or you're going to wait or keep accumulating stocks little by little. If you have the cash, consider doing cash secured puts, because if you have the cash to buy 1,000 shares, but you want Tesla stock at 162, I would do cash secure puts, because you're making money as the stock goes down, and it's a stock that you want. This is a play that Warren Buffett loves. It's one of those that he buys stock at the price that he wants. If you start looking at Warren Buffett and how his approach to buying stock is, he has a big problem that most investors have. that don't have, which is he can buy 64 million shares or 65 million shares in one day. Most stocks and most shares trade about 2 to 3 million shares in a day. There's a supply imbalance, supply and demand imbalance. And you start seeing that when you start looking at cash secure puts of those of you who are managing your portfolio, those of you who have a huge portfolio and you want to protect your money, this is a way to buy a stock that you want. This stock I thought was going to go to the moon earlier, but as you start seeing, it really has gotten beat up. There's no way around it. So it's either you have the put option on it, or if you are an investor that loves buying stock and you're cash heavy, I will be looking at cash secure puts. I'm thinking this stock, if it goes back down and it passes the 202 mark, this stock is going to go back to the 160, 164, is going to bounce off that. It's already filled up the gap that this company has already done, really in around this 205. There was a gap around here. There, I think it's right here. There's a gap around there. It filled it. So this is something that I think this stock is just... I love it, but also, you get beat up by it. The Russell 2000, if you're a credit spread trader, the Russell 2000 has either been your friend or your enemy if you've been playing it the right way. As you can tell, it's basically been in a range, but then it breaks out of it. So it's been in two ranges. You got this top one right here. It's at that 2500 mark, which it seems like every time it reaches that, it just shoots right back down. But then it seems like it has a floor of that 1600, 1800 range, and it seems to be just up and down. Now, if you're waiting on the super down days to really get in this stock, I understand it. Now, if you're waiting to drop 60, 70 points or 40 or 50 points in a week, and then you're trying to leg into the downside, into the bear call spread or the bull put spread, then I understand that. That makes sense. But Russell 2000 has been really hit. Expect the Russell 2000 to continue its volatility as these tariffs keep taking in place. Again, it's that manufacturing is coming back to the United States. That's where these mid-cap companies really dwell and where these companies really thrive. Russell 2000, we go to Diamond, Dow Jones, Diamonds. Kind of been following this pattern, kind of very similar. Is almost forming like an M, but who don't know? Could this be an M for murder, or could this just be a bounce up? If the Dow diamonds keep bouncing, if it keeps falling, I believe from this 417 it could hit that 403 mark. If it goes below that, it's looking at 382. Dow Jones is really mirroring what the rest of the market is doing. Around 2 o'clock, usually when the Fed speaks, we'll be seeing how this reacts to what the Fed says. Again, it's another one of those ETFs that really dependent on the market. Meta, my baby. What's going on? Mark Zuckerberg, Meta platforms really just gotten hammered the last few days. I am still bullish on Meta. Meta is, to me, it's one of those undervalued stocks. One thing I got to give credit to Mark Zuckerberg, because he's always been on the forefront of where social media wants to be, as crazy as this sounds. So you got to praise him for what he's done. Do I agree with everything? Not really, but you got to praise him for what he's done. Meta stock, in my opinion, and again, my opinion, I'm an opinionator. I believe this stock could potentially go to $1,000. I really believe that. Just Meta is going to be on the forefront. My parents still use Meta. A lot of people, like older folks, this is where they're going to live and breathe. Right now is going to be Meta. It's going to be that. And Meta is one of those companies that innovates, not internally. They innovate by acquiring other technology companies, other companies. So I will say that it's not just the social media aspect. It's the other companies that Mark Zuckerberg is acquiring. That's why I'm bullish on Meta. And I believe that in the future, don't be shocked if Meta becomes the shopping mall of the future. Don't be shocked if Meta becomes the shopping mall of the future. So you're going to be seeing that right now. Meta, we're going to look at the SPY. Let's look at the SPY chart. Again, this almost looks like the Dow Jones, the Diamonds ETF. It's mirroring the S&P 500. Those investors that love dividend stocks, those investors that are looking maybe for the long term, I love the Spiders. It's one of the best ETFs. It follows the S&P 500. Consider that having in the portfolio. Let's look at Ford. Ford has been a dud lately. I mean, really, Ford, since it's the high of 24 almost 2 years ago, has really been flat. It was going through a range of 10 to 15, 10, 15, 10, 15. So this stock has really just gotten hammered. If it wasn't for the dividend, I really would have sold this stock long ago. But it's in my portfolio. I'm still bought at a good price. Could this stock go up? Yeah, but it's going to be in a long, long time. One of the things that hurts Ford not only was the electric vehicle a dud, it was a dud. They lost a lot of money, but they have bad leadership in the executive committee. Ford needs a change in their leadership. And as a shareholder, that ticks me off with this company. I'm holding them only for the loyalty, but loyalty only holds on so far. I'm believing if this stock continues its decline, you're going to see this stock come into a $5 range. Now, again, if you love this stock, this is where you start looking at a stock like this and start doing cash secure puts. Well, what about if this stock goes to, I would buy it. I would do cash secure puts at a $5 range. That's a stock that I would buy at that price. I believe this stock will go back to 24. It's probably 2 years before it does that. So Ford, I love you, but not right now. AMD, you gone up a little bit. You kind of giving off a little bit of the highs. You know, AMD is really one of those that I was bullish on last year. And just once it hit that 180, really, it's just kind of just gone downhill. It's just gone downhill. And I believe if the stock comes back, falls down, it's going to fall on that 94. If it doesn't, it's going to keep going down to 71. AMD has a lot that it needs to really show in order for me to give it confidence. Amazon is Amazon time every time in your house. Amazon is one of those that's just gotten hammered. Again, I am bullish on Jeff Bezos. I think his investments, I think you get a lot of people that are upset that they're playing nice. So if you're upset at that they're playing nice, there's something wrong with you. At one time, we were able to get along. So I'm thankful for those that are willing to work. I'm thankful for Zuckerberg and Bezos. If this stock continues to decline, look at that 172 range to be the next stop. If it continues to fall, you're looking at the 158, 160 range. I'm hoping it bounces off, but right now, let's see. All hands, it's really kind of, I drew a line here. It's kind of, let's see what it does here. Is it going to stay above it? You know, I don't know. It's really one of those stocks that we need to check out. Nvidia again is just sideways right now. Sideways right now. I am bullish on Nvidia. Nvidia not only does it have gaming technology, that's how it's known for, but Nvidia has so many orders that are backlogged. There's a good problem when you have people that are waiting for and wanting to give you money and you can't produce fast enough. That's a good problem to have. Nvidia, I'm believing this stock will go up. Again, it's following the market. It's part of the Magnificent Seven. Royal Caribbean gotten hit up the last few months, the last few trading days. But also we have to remember, Royal Caribbean has had a steady, nice run for the last year and a half. I mean, it just had a beautiful run. If you were in Royal Caribbean and you got in at the $50-$60 range, 40, I mean, here, I mean, it just took off. Even if you were here at the $80 range, I mean, you really took off here. So Target again, another stock that I believe will take off. But hey, when you start choosing politics over customers, it's a tough thing. You gotta roll with the punches on how you vote and how you placate to one party over another. So I'm bullish in the future for Target, just not right now. Again, leadership issues. That's one thing that you kind of you a base of voters, and that's both Republican and Democrat. You got to understand that the country was really split. So you have to have a wherewithal that you can be one side or the other. I think, in the famous words of Rodney King is, can we all just get along? That's the key here. Can we all just get along? Jets ETF, it's kind of one of those slow movers. If you're looking for travel ETF, I like that one. Is a smaller one. Qs, I love the Qs. I've been trading the Qs for the longest. Again, it's been following what the Nasdaq, a lot of what Tesla, Apple, all those major companies. It just follows the technology sector. So we're seeing a lot of that. So the VIX has gone down. Apple is going up. Netflix kind of recouping a lot of the losses that it has. I'm believing that Netflix is going to go to $1,200 range. I am bullish on Netflix. Netflix still innovates. That's what I like. I think it's in their DNA. Once they saw what Blockbuster did, I think that innovation spirit, it's in its DNA. I like Netflix. So we start looking at what the stock market is doing. Let's take a look at Fed Powell, kind of going to be updating soon. Stock market still going up. Nasdaq up 122 points. S&P up 23, kind of a little bit down off its highs. Dow Jones 100 points, so still up. So you start seeing a lot of news is driving up the market, and you never know which one is it going to be that we go here. And you start seeing that what happens in the market today really determines where the stock market goes. Fed Chairman Powell holds a lot of power. Not only does he hold a lot of power, President Trump holds a lot of power in the things that he says. One of the things that I like, that even his cabinet members, even Vice President J.D. Vance has mentioned that there are going to be short-term pains in the beginning. That's one thing that I do like. The Trump administration has never shied away from it. There will be some roadblocks ahead. What does that is? As business owners, when you start implementing new plans, there's going to be a little topsy-turvy, a little uncomfortableness. That's where you start seeing where you can look at your KPIs, look at what's changing, and actually make adjustments. When you're starting to look at all the money that Elon Musk is finding through Doge, all the fraudulent activities, now you start seeing where a lot of these people who are causing issues, where were they getting their money? As you start looking as investing in the stock market, you're going to be noticing so many good things in here. Let me go check out this stat. So, all right, come on, policy. I love that. So we look at stuff like that. I was looking at some of the comments here. Sometimes like doing too many things at one time throws me off, but you start looking at how one hurts the other. So you start looking at where the money's going. So if the United States can either bring down the debt, that's the key that you have to look at. If debt comes down, then prices go down. If debt goes up, prices will go up. Either wages have to go up artificially in order for the people to feel like they're getting ahead. Consider this. Look at all the people that maybe, I'm 47. So think of it as, you remember when there was certain soda or pop, whatever you call it, was 50 cents. Now that same thing is $1. You look at many things that we looked at in the past that were a quarter. Some things are now 50 cents. So prices or wages have gone up. And then we look at our grandparents, they would say the same things that we were paying for a quarter, they were paying for 5 cents. Many of our grandparents, how many of you have grandparents that are still with us, many of them have said, I remember when gas was 20 cents, 25 cents, 15 cents. And you start seeing that wages have to increase. When I first started entering the workforce, minimum wage was about 275. That's a long time ago. 275. And as wages keep increasing, as inflation keeps going up, you start looking at how to make money off of the policy that's going on. So we start looking at the Fed holds interest rates steady, sees additional cuts coming. So that's what's coming in right now from Federal Chairman Powell, that the Feds are holding interest rates steady. And that's what the news that is coming right down the wire. Let me make sure any other stuff here. Let me refresh. Yep, the interest rates are holding steady. The S&P actually just shot up 10 points as we're speaking right now. See, the NASDAQ shot up 50 points. The Dow already doubled 200 points. So as we're live right now, we're starting to see that the market is moving. I'm guessing they loving what Chairman Powell is saying, but it's relative. You know, many people had already priced this down. This was already priced in the markets. When the stock market goes down like that, it's either people knew what was happening, and either the new system is always brought in to either bring bad news, so people lose confidence. So a lot of it, I think this is already planned. You got a lot of people that have cash and are cash heavy on the sidelines. They're the ones that are starting to buy little by little. I would be looking at what Warren Buffett is doing. Of course, if there's some heavy buying, if you start seeing places of supply and demand where you start seeing heavy buying, consider that a lot of this is going to be big time players. When you're looking at real estate, I also want to consider certain things. I love real estate. Real estate is in my portfolio, but you're starting to see that many investors don't feel confident in the prices of what the real estate is. There's only so much you can charge for rents. Of course, everyone's saying, oh, rents go up, rents go up. I get that. Rents do go up. But also, when you live in certain cities, you're capped on how much you can charge for rent. If people are used to paying $800 of rent, you just can't go charge $2,000. It doesn't work that way. No matter how much you want it to believe, you have to go rent according to what the neighborhood tells you. Housing prices haven't caught up to that. You're starting to see, I saw this article here. It's on, let me see, what's it on? It's from Resi Club. It's from boom to correction. 5 reasons Florida's housing market has weakened. And you have starting to see a list of one of the top. Let me go share this screen with you guys. So this article right here, pretty interesting. So we have from boom to correction, 5 reasons Florida's housing bust has weakened. Condo prices are declining, 92% of Florida housing market, while single-family home prices are falling at 66%. These are the biggest one-year Florida condo prices decline. Punta Gorda, north of Florida, the Villages, of course, Panama City, Cape Coral. Cape Coral is interesting because Cape Coral at one time had the notion of knowing as, in the 80s, if you were ever sold swampland, Cape Coral was that place. And what's funny is that Cape Coral is a beautiful place. And in my opinion, Cape Coral was built by Russ Whitney. So Russ Whitney, any of you Whitney heads, former, like if you've ever taken a class from Russ Whitney, which I have, back in the 80s and 90s, he was the big dude in Cape Coral, Florida. It's one of those cities that has more navigable canals. It's really a great place. That Cape Coral and Naples are kind of similar area, and also that Port Charlotte, it's in that same corridor. It's on that west side of, and then Deltona, other side. Tampa, of course, overpopulated. Panama City, another one. Those are. Those a lot of cities are just going down year over year. You're starting to see condo home prices. Condo are bad investments. On single family homes, check this out. Also, same cities. Punta Gorda, 7.3. Cape Coral, down 5%. 5%, 2.7. That means that these housing prices are dropping precipitously. Year over year, I don't want to subscribe, but year over year, change in single home prices across Florida metro area. A lot of it is dropping. So you're starting to see is for investors, This is like shaping up to be like a place where you can like really start investing more in real estate or start positioning yourself to either buy stuff at a discount. So if you've been on the market for a new home, and like many people who were getting outbid, there's so many people that were so ticked off that they were getting outbid. This could be a sign for you to get into the market. Or if you're an investor, I would look into single family houses. I would stay away from condos. If we have a downturn, condos are the first ones to go down in value. If you just look at 2008, and many of these condo associations are severely underfunded in their HOAs. That's why I do not like condos in Florida, especially with the, I believe it's the Surfside condos. There has been so many regulations, and there are a lot of condos that are sinking. Florida is not, their bedrock is kind of like, is not as strong as like a New York City. You have a lot of sand over there, so you're building a lot of edifices and big buildings on sinking sand. So what do you expect? So some of the decisions people make don't make no sense, but I get it. It's a gamble that you take. So we are expecting more big news. Let me see if the stock market is still reacting positively to Chairman Powell. Let's see. Let's refresh this again. Yeah. This keeps going up. The Russell's up 10 points. Nasdaq up 168. S&P 39 points. Dow Jones 217. I mean, it's going to be a good day. So for those that were expecting good news, this will be a catalyst. Now, this could be a setup for another turnaround down. This is where a lot of investors could get caught up here, where there could be another turnaround. So this is another thing. I don't believe that we're really going to be turning around till around September. I think we're going to be going sideways market for the next few months until we start seeing positive reviews or positive feedback from the tariffs. I don't think we're going to see anything like really crazy in the stock market, but I expect a lot of pain. I expect that, but I also expect a lot of upturn. And if you're positioning yourself correctly, you'll be ready to make money in whatever condition this stock market goes. That's what I love, that however this stock market goes, you can make money. So as it's going up, you're going to see a lot of people more start jumping on the bandwagon. And then you have to look off if there's a sell-off. If there's a sell-off tomorrow in the next few days, expect this to go another leg down, or you could expect another 1 or 2 days of uptick. Friday's a sell-off, and then market goes down because people don't know how to behave during politicians don't know how to behave. So you never know how the stock market moves. But I love about seeing where the economy is going. I am bullish on the economy, but I do know that it's not going to happen overnight. So I'm cautiously optimistic, but I'm also bullish on America. America has always overcome, and by God's grace, we will continue. God shed his grace on thee. May it continue on this great country. I'll see you next time, and I look forward to meeting with you guys again. See you guys next time.